What's up, guys? This is Daria, and we are back for another Kaiju Cinematic Destruction. We are going to be reviewing Mile 22. Let's get to it.
Let's all go to the lobby. 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 Let's all go to the lobby.
You keep coming to me until you kill us all. Is that the game today? I'll play.
Everything I've seen made me everything I am. Pray. Fast forward, freeze frame on my pistol. Pray.
You're chaos. I think I might be worse. I am a killer who looks like a hero.
Pray. Pray.
Mile 22 is directed by Peter Berg, starring and produced by Mark Wahlberg, and is about a covert ops team that is disavowed by the United States government, and they are off the grid. They do all these secretive black ops things, and they have an eye in the sky and an Overwatch team that keeps them all together in a cohesive unit, and oh my God.
It's a shit show.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say the term I used when it came down to this movie, because we literally just got out this movie. The term that I used was aggressively mediocre.
Yeah.
Aggressively mediocre.
Yeah.
There's really not a lot to say about this movie, because there's not a lot to this movie, even though it thinks that there is. This movie is basically just detailing Mark Wahlberg playing a character who is gifted, who has a lot of these mental tics, and they beat you over the head with how gifted he is. You know, one of the rules that they tell you sometimes in film, show but don't tell. They do a lot of telling at the very, very beginning to remind you of how gifted he is. But dude didn't do not a damn thing gifted throughout this whole movie.
Yeah, no, if I have to be completely honest, for the first good 30 minutes, I have no idea what the hell was going on. I'm sorry. It was just too much jumbling that it was no information that they gave you to say, hey, this is what's going on right now, and this is leading up to us going into this. It just kind of went straight into it and then straight into everything else. You were just kind of like, okay, what the hell is going on right now? I am so confused right now.
Yeah, this movie is all over the place.
Yes.
It is all over the place. It's trying to be way too much and ends up being absolutely nothing in the long run. If you've ever seen shows like Veep or House of Cards, where you have a lot of this, or even what was that, Newsroom on HBO?
Yeah.
If you've ever seen shows like that, where there's a lot of this quick-paced back and forth, and a lot of character and personality mixed with a healthy dose of cynicism. And that's what this dialogue wants it to be, where it's kind of fun to see the tete-a-tete go between two or more characters, just to let their personality shine. You get them trying to do that, but it falls flat on its face because nobody in this movie is likable enough or has enough charisma or personality to make this work. Mark Wahlberg tries. He really tries, but this is not a character for him, in my opinion. This is not a character that works for him. Mark Wahlberg works as a wisecracker. Mark Wahlberg works sometimes as your action hero, even though he's kind of dull-ish as an action hero, but he kind of works there.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work for him to be an aggressive dick throughout the entirety of this movie and make you want to like him and see him succeed. Now, maybe that's what they were going for. Maybe they wanted you to just hate this guy and nothing more. But the problem is, if you want me to hate this guy, I'm going to not want to watch this movie.
Yeah, that's the thing with that. And I'm used to seeing the roles that you just said about Mark Wahlberg. I'm used to seeing that. But in this movie, he was just a pretentious dick.
Completely.
Like, I was just over him by the beginning of the movie. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm done already.
I wanted nothing to do with him.
Yeah.
Like, every time he was on screen.
And you know what? Even with Ronda Rousey, our WWE superstar.
Yeah, our link to this was Ronda Rousey, and the problem with that is she didn't get enough.
She got nothing.
Like, she was actually, for what she was on screen, she was actually kind of fun, but they gave her nothing to work with.
Right.
They gave her absolutely nothing to work with.
They just did a lot of flashing of her, and it was like, I could just go watch this on WWE if I wanted to see that.
Yeah, like, honestly, this is a direct-to-DVD movie, if not for Iko Uwais, who's been in The Raid and The Raid 2. Both movies I love. I absolutely love. And he's the only reason this movie was anything more than, as I said, just a direct-to-DVD movie of just gunplay.
Yeah.
Because he is the spine of this movie. He provides the action. He provides a lot of the way. He even provides a little bit more warmth than everybody else. And even though he's not a direct main character in this, because he only pops in, like, I want to say, like 35, 40 minutes into the movie.
Again, like I said, like 30 minutes of the beginning of the movie, you get nothing, and you are like, what the hell is going on? And when he appears, you finally get a storyline.
Yeah, pretty much, like, for the first half hour of this movie, it is military theater. It's intelligence theater. It's oh, hey, we got maps, we got charts, we got flashing lights, we got all of this technobabble. We got all of that, but we have no actual story.
No.
None whatsoever. I mean, they tried to pull something out with of course your threat du jour, the radiation. Of course they're going to pull that out, but beyond that, it's just like, okay, we just kind of get thrust into it. Like, we get the initial conflict in the movie at, like, before the credits even roll, and then we get we get the credits, and then 16 months later, and that's it. That's literally the transition from the first to the next, and they in the end kind of wrap everything up, but it's such a non-twist that everybody sees coming that it's just like, okay, and
so when you get to the end, you're just kind of like, okay,
that's it. I guess that's it.
Was that our twist? Because you kind of spoiled it for us early on in the movie, so by the time we get to the end, it's like,
okay, and
okay,
it really was just like that. It was like, and
yeah, it was really nothing else there.
This movie, again, wants to be so much more than what it is. They had a lot of the characters there sacrifice themselves. I'm not going to say who, because we don't want to spoil that stuff. But people die in this movie, and they want you to have that sort of emotional connection to them.
They don't
but
give
there
you a
is
chance
none.
to do that.
There is none.
So when they die, you're just kind of like, oh, well, he's dead.
Like, this would have worked. This would have worked pretty well as sort of a miniseries, because, like, how long is this movie? I want to say like 90 minutes or so.
I think so, or barely.
Yeah, like 95 minutes. This movie is 90 minutes long.
Yeah.
Just long enough for you to get a story, but they want you to care about these characters, and at best, they don't exist.
Yeah.
Or at worst, they are assholes.
That's
nobody in this movie was fun to watch. Everybody was an asshole.
Except for
Iko Uwais. Except for him. Just him. He's the only one that you actually want to care about in this movie. Everybody else is a cynical asshole, but not in the fun way. Like, they wanted so hard for you to see these characters as sort of these sniping Dr. Coxes.
Yeah.
But, like, the thing that made Dr. Cox kind of work is, A, he was competent, and B, there was this underlying, psychosomatic need for him to be liked,
right,
or at least respected in some way.
Yes.
These guys just don't give a shit about anybody.
They had nothing to work with. That's what I'm going to be fair and say. They had nothing to work with, and what they did have to work with, it just didn't work for this movie.
It didn't work for this movie.
It didn't work.
Like, people are dying, and our main character's just shrugging it off his shoulders.
Right.
That's it. It's like, I get that you want
no emotion.
You want to claim that he's emotionally detached. You want to claim, I get that.
You can still do that, but still.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You can make that work.
Do that, but it can still work to, like, okay, we get that he is emotionally detached, but he still has something there to let you know, okay, he does care about something.
This is his team. This is his team, and nothing about it. Again, that's what makes some of these cynical characters work. There is that underlying care.
Yeah.
They actually give a damn. And this doesn't happen in this movie at all. Mark Wahlberg just doesn't care. His character just doesn't care. Yeah. And that just makes you not want to care about any of the characters or the main character. Nothing at all.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done with this movie. This was again, I didn't expect much out of this, but this was pretty disappointing. I was expecting something out of it. But
yeah,
anyway.
I wasn't, but okay.
And of course you were. You didn't even want to come.
No, I did not.
You didn't want to come.
No, I did not.
But Daria, go ahead. Give me your review.
Yeah, no, I really did. I actually asked the waitress at Chili's if we could switch shifts. Because I really didn't want to go see this movie. But I sucked it up, saw it. I'm going to have to give it a 1. 1 star because there is nothing to work with in this movie. I am so disappointed at the character they gave our WWE superstar. Mm-hmm. And it's a 1 star. I'm rambling. It's a 1 star.
I'm gonna cut right into the chase. This is a 1-star movie. Yeah. This isn't bad enough to be like where it insults your intelligence. You could see where under the right hands, under the right director, under the right writer, under the right actor, because I don't think Mark Wahlberg can play this well. You can have any number of other actors that could play this well, but there's really nothing redeemable about the character. The story is just kind of whack. It's jumbled. It tries to be more important than it actually is, and that's what makes it annoying. As I said, this was aggressively mediocre. And honestly, Mark Wahlberg didn't deserve to have the position that he was in whatsoever, both in the movie as the character he was and as the actor, because there was a moment where Iko Uwais was kicking somebody's ass and you were seeing it on the CCTV. He was kicking down 3 people's asses at once, getting pushed into a corner, and then they pan over to Mark Wahlberg's character and he's just firing around a corner, and that's it. Like Iko was kicking ass and all you hear is pop pop, and that's it. That's the crux of the movie.
Yeah.
That's all it is. So I give it a 1 star.
Yeah.
Maybe catch it on DVD.
Yeah.
Maybe catch it at the $1 show.
Yeah.
Don't spend your hard-earned money on this.
Nah.
This is, you might see it on FX in a few months, and like you will miss nothing with when they cut away everything. You'll miss the technobabble, and that's about it. And that's not even worth watching. You'll miss the theater, the political theater. They tried to make this thing better than it was. It wasn't. Don't bother to go saying it. This is it. We're done. I'll catch y'all later. Deuces.